Did some big game hunting this weekend, and I landed 2 elks. Let's get into it. Hey guys, it's Felix from Bars and Cigars ATL, and like I just said, I've been lucky enough in this whiskey hunt to land 2 of the latest releases from Old Elk. Now, if you don't know about Old Elk, you really need to look into them. They've been around in the whiskey space for a long time, but they have been one of the most creative, innovative, exploratory whiskeys out. So, because it's a doubleheader today, we're not going to waste a lot of time getting to the background. But before we do that, we do want to introduce the 2 whiskeys that we'll be reviewing today. So up first, we have the latest release in their cask series. And what they've been doing over the last couple of years with their cask series is, again, exploring different secondary castings to put their whiskey in. This year, they took their straight wheated whiskey and aged it for additional 6 months to a year in French Limousine Cognac Cask. Now, they came out with a cognac cask before, but it wasn't their wheated whiskey. So this is definitely going to be a twist on one of their most popular casting series. So before we move on to our second one, let's deep dive into the details here. Let's crack it open. And as we always do, and what we're going to do with both is, of course, look at it in the glass, take it to the nose, see what notes we get from it, and then finally, the palate. Let's go. I told you about the secondary casting, and it spent 6 months to a year, but they already took a well-aged 6-year-old whiskey and then added additional 6 months to a year. So you're talking about roughly a 7-year-old whiskey that went through a nice amount of time of secondary casting. So, as we normally do, just looking at the color and the viscosity, it's a very light amber, golden amber. Very nice gold color to it, kind of like bright yellow autumn leaves. So not too dark. Maybe picking up a lot of that cognac, kind of that limousine cognac casting. But I can tell you from here, it's going to be quite pleasant on the nose. So let's take it to the nose. And already, without too much effort, I'm already picking up notes of the cognac, which to me is almost very wine-like. So you get a lot of bright fruits, a lot of grape. I would say nice, juicy peaches. Just really bright, really sunny, really nice. Just golden, if you could think about other golden fruits, is really what you get here on the nose. And then there's a nice sweetness too, a nice creamy sweetness that is complementing those fruit notes that I'm getting on the nose. So very aromatic, very fruit forward, very nice brightness coming from it. All right, let's see how it is on the palate. Very easy, very pleasant. Now, that sweetness does come across, but it's a little bit denser. So it's more, of course, it's very nice. It's very light. It has notes of vanilla. Has a little bit of that citrus coming through, but it is a little bit denser than what it first appeared on the nose. It has some richness that coats your tongue that is buttery. So that's what it is. It's kind of more buttery than what I expected from the nose here as far as the palate goes. Actually, maybe a little touch of honey as well. So you get the butteriness that gives more depth on the creamy side of things. Then you get the, like I said, cooked oranges, a little bit of syrup. Nice sweetness though. And that is just really nice. You get the fruit, you get a little bit of that creaminess, but there you get kind of that hay, if you could think about golden wheat, but more hay, breadiness. Wheat is really what finishes it up, and that just gives it a little bit more body there. So I do like that, and I think it'll be a good whiskey in this weather. Here we're in the middle of July. It could get pretty hot, but because of those fruit notes, this is a whiskey that I think you can enjoy in these high temperatures as well. It's not too hot because I believe this is sub 100 proof. Yep, 95 proof. So again, easy sipper, very buttery, very creamy, and very fruit forward. Now, before we get into the second one, as you can see, I have a second Glencairn, but I'm going to take a little sip of water, and then we'll get right back into it. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back for our second latest release from Old Elk. This here I'm really excited about, and you guys seem to be very excited on my last post when I asked which one I should review. This one had just a lot of interest, and you guys really wanted to know what this is. So this here is Old Elk's third iteration into their Cigar Cut series. So again, came out with a Cigar Cut before, then it came out with an Island Cut, which was more tropical. I believe that one had the addition of rum to the finish, but this here is the Punch Cut, and this one is actually finished in Armagnac, sherry, and port, and it's a combination between their straight whiskey and their wheated whiskey, so that we're familiar with. So nice blends here. The good thing about Old Elk, they are very transparent in the details on their whiskeys here. So they'll tell you how many months it was spent in each cask: 4 months in the Armagnac, 6 months in the sherry, 8 months in the tawny port. Oh, and actually 5 months in Cestrin cask. So again, they're going to break it down for you, give you all the details, but that combination just sounds lovely. So let's get into it. Now, I am a fan of all of those individually, casks. I'm a fan of Armagnac, I'm a fan of sherry, I'm a fan of port, a fan of straight whiskey and wheated whiskey. So again, this combination sounds like it's going to be fantastic. So again, we're going to take a look at the color. And already you could tell that it was much darker than the wheated whiskey with the cognac cask, but very nice, dark, rich flavors, rich color coming off of the glass. As far as the texture, it seems to also be a little more denser than the first one that we sampled here. So this one takes a little while, but it starts to just slowly show its legs, and it is clinging to the glass quite well. But I'm really liking the color that I'm getting from this one. Again, with all those finishes, it's gonna impart a whole lot into this whiskey. So let's take it to the nose. That nose is nice. Immediately I got deep dark raisins. Oh yeah, you get the cooked fruits from it. I would say that's probably from the port and the sherry. That is nice. And you also get some oakiness from it. So I don't know the year on this whiskey itself before the second casting, but it has a nice amount of oak. I'm going to contribute that to the Armagnac. Armagnac really gives you a nice clean oakiness. Armagnac is usually aged for just years and years. So I'm going to say that oakiness is probably from the Armagnac. So from the nose, I think it's perfectly layered. You can pick out the attributes from each of the castings here. All right, let's take it to the palate. Oh, this one is good. This one is good. Really like this one. Now, your first couple of seconds with this, you get bombarded with those dark fruit notes. It is rich. It is rich in a way of almost decadent. It is amazing on those first couple of seconds, the way it just coats your tongue, and it is nice. Again, it's layered very well. The blender here, I believe her name is Melinda, did a very good job with the blending and the layering. There's a lot going on, and you can easily mess up something with so many finishes, but that is nice up front. Let's go in again. All right, so you get the fruits, then you get chocolate. Oh my God, it is almost like a lava cake maybe, but with the berries on top. If there's a dessert that has a lot of berries and chocolate, you guys let me know in the comments. But that is what I'm getting. I'm getting lots of berries, reduced berries, blackberry, cherry, blueberry, and then chocolate. It is a nice, almost cake-like chocolate that you get. Oh man, that's good and dark, nice and rich. Think about also maybe like a melted chocolate bar. Yeah, that is, but a very high-end chocolate bar. So we're not talking Milky Way over here. We're talking like some Godiva chocolate melted down. Is the notes I'm getting from here. A little bit of nuttiness in there too that I like. Gonna go in for one more sip. Now, I've had their other iterations of the Cigar Cut. The first one I really did enjoy. The Island one, a friend of ours, Nono, he allowed us to try it, and I think the first one still kind of beat it out for my palate. The second one, this one here, I think is probably the best one that they've done. This punch cut is really, really nice. Really nice flavor. Of course, this was the neck pour. I can imagine just how it opens up and how those flavors really start to blend. But I'm really liking that chocolate here, and then those dark fruits. Because of that, I would love to enjoy this with a cigar, take it outside. I may actually do that, do a pairing session with just this one here alone. But just off of the top of my head, I think what would pair well good with this one would be something that a cigar that maybe has some nuttiness. I think that would go good with the chocolate and the dark fruits to complement that. So think either a Dominican cigar that has some nice creamy nuttiness, more like a peanut, or maybe Ecuadorian, which you'll get more of the heavier nuts. So you're talking, walnuts, pecans, kind of the more heavier nuts in the note or profile of those cigars. But me, myself, what I would reach in my humidor for would be the Belle Artes from AJ Fernandez, the Maduro series. This one just smokes with so much just chocolate notes that just aligns, I think will align perfectly here. That would just take this to the next level. That's what I would reach for. It's the Belle Artes Maduro series from AJ Fernandez. I think will go perfect with this whiskey here. But all in all, I love them both. Again, this is probably the best iteration of their cigar cut that they've done to date. And both of them are reasonably priced for what you're getting out of them. They're both at, I believe, at right around $100. I think this one's a little bit more. You're getting into the 120s. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Sprayberry Bottle Shop and to First Street Avenue down in Tampa for helping me get my hands on these. You can't go wrong, but I love what you guys are doing. So guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the notification so you don't miss any new reviews that we're landing on you guys. We're trying to get the new stuff out first so you know what to pick up the next time you're in the liquor store or your tobacconist cigar shop. All right, guys, and share this with someone who needs a new whiskey to pick up. Hopefully you guys will be on the hunt just like I was this weekend and you land yourself some Old Elk. All right, guys, Felix signing off.